Failure is painful, y'all, but I love it. A lot of us, including myself, are scared of failure. I'm terrified of failure. I'm terrified of failing. I'm literally the type of person who plans out her future, every aspect of my life, when I should be making career moves, at what time should I be looking at certain things, if opportunities are right in the moment. I'm so future orientated. I'm a perfectionist. So every little thing that goes wrong, every little thing that I fail at is literally like the end of my life as I know it. And a lot of us, I feel like, are like this. A lot of us, we just want things to go the way that we want it. We want things to go perfect and we don't want to fail because failure makes us feel like we're incompetent. For me personally, I feel like there's never enough time to fail at things, if that makes sense, which is weird. But I always just think if I fail right now, like I'm not gonna have time or I'm not gonna get there in the time span that I have. And I feel like there's such a short time span for some reason that failure is not incorporated into that. But I've also learned, and you should also learn, that failure is painful, but it's also a really good teaching moment as well as like a fundamental part of our success. We can't fail. Well, we can't succeed until we fail. And a lot of us, me included, I'm better at it now, but psychologically, I'm pretty sure this was proven somewhere. When people feel incompetent and demoralized, which failure does that for a lot of us, their brains stop processing new information. They stop allowing us to really look into what went wrong, and give us that self feedback, especially. And we don't, receive other things very well when we fail. I'm learning failure is your key to the life that you want to live. And you can't be afraid of it because failing helps us learn what we need to do in the next steps of wherever we're trying to go, whatever goal we're trying to make. And like I said, like I've had a feel of failure and it's made me miss out on going for a lot of opportunities that like I should have gone for, and I've missed a lot of things that I could have done or maybe could not have done because it wasn't, my time. Opportunities, life, those things, they never wait. So you should never wait to do something because you're afraid of failing. Can't wait for a test in school because you think you're going to fail. You just have to do it, right? No, and I've learned that, and I'm still kind of in the process of doing this, that I need to change, my definition of failure, my definition of success, and like really get into that growth mindset. And my mindset when it comes to failure specifically, I think I'm an artist. I like to call myself an artist. I'm a dancer. Um, well, I'm an artist, okay? Not I like to call myself, I am an artist. I'm a dancer and as well as a choreographer, and I've been trying to get into that realm. I have like friends and people in my life and people that, I know from friends of friends, blasey blasey, that are obviously around my age. I'm 20 years old, turning 21 this year. See these like 21, 22-year olds, they're doing all these things that I want to be doing. And I always end up comparing myself to them. And it's so corny, but everybody always says comparison is the root of all evil. Comparison is the root of all misery. Comparison, is the demolition of all joy. That's not how they say it. I just couldn't think of it. So, but I would compare myself a lot to these people. Like, how did they get there? If I would have gone to this studio, like, would I have been? I probably would have been in the same spot that they are. Like, if I just had started choreographing earlier than freaking 15, maybe I would have been able to already be choreographing, teaching here, teaching there, guests doing this, guests doing that. I compare myself a lot, and that's just kind of where anytime I fail, I go, my mind personally. I've been learning how to redefine failure and success and moving into this growth mindset. How I did this was quite a few things. One, I always made sure that I embraced all the new challenges that came my way. I looked at them as like an opportunity to grow. Every single one came with a failure. Maybe one out of like 15 was a success. I embraced all those challenges and I really approached it. And this is really important. I approached it with curiosity and I approached it with a willingness. You're never going to grow if you're not pushing past and having the willingness to push past what you already know, having the curiosity to learn about something that you don't know. Number two is that I learned from criticism. Every single time I think something went wrong or something went right, I self-reflected. Sometimes, it's not just career paths, it's also, with friendships. I've had a lot of failure in friendships, let me tell you. You just have to be willing to look at yourself and make sure you're giving yourself the honesty, because although I did do that a lot as a child growing up until now, it wasn't until maybe I was 18 years old that I started to give myself the actual honesty of the self-criticism and the self-reflection that, hurt me, but also was what I needed to be able to grow as a person, grow as a friend, grow as a dancer, grow as this, that, and the third. Give yourself the criticism, accept other criticism, but make sure they're, honest and also healthy. Things like, oh, you're so stupid, the negative comments that we constantly give ourselves are not healthy. They're not going to help you grow. What am I supposed to do with, oh, you're so stupid? Okay, and when you're getting this criticism from yourself or from other people, peers, whatever, you really have to make sure you're focusing on what you're getting out of the experience, what you're learning, instead of, getting or feeling defensive or feeling disencouraged about the whole process. I'm a dance major in college. We have, different classes, modern, tap, jazz, ballet, etc. We have levels to them. I took Jazz 4 and Jazz 2. So Jazz 2 was back to the basics type vibe. Jazz 4 is pounding it out, throwing stuff at you. I would say up until middle of the season, so midterms, even maybe a little bit after that, I always would feel so disencouraged. I hadn't taken jazz for 2 years. Okay, so when you take that much time off, it's really hard to get back to that. I took that class and I felt so discouraged the whole entire time. It was a little harsher for me because I felt like I had something to prove as well. But, any feedback that she gave me, I wasn't in the right mindset because I felt so discouraged, because I felt so incompetent. I wasn't in the right mindset ever, the whole class, to actually accept what the criticism and the feedback that she was giving me. She gave me a lot. And it wasn't until a little bit past midterms, like I said, that I really felt okay, we need to calm down. And we can't keep getting defensive and discouraged because we're not learning anything. We're not gaining anything from this experience. We're not growing. And I felt there was very little growth. But after that, I grew a lot. It really is amazing how much your mind holds you back. The third thing is I'm always remaining curious. I'm always what else can I learn? I'm always doing research on a certain topic, things like that. And just I'm always open to receiving inspiration from outside people, because there's inspiration all around you. So I'm always just remaining curious about things and always learning and always just keeping myself open-minded. The fourth thing is going to be resilience. You got to keep going. No matter how hard it gets, you got to keep pushing through. You got to keep going. It's easier said than done, I know. But resilience is so, so important. The fifth thing is going to be focus on the effort and not on the outcomes. I feel like nowadays we're into manifesting, and that's great. We've always been into praying about it, but manifesting, that word is thrown around a lot. We love that word. We love to manifest, and I love to manifest. I love to pray. Pray about it, manifest it, ask God about it, ask your universe about it, whatever you believe in. but still do the work and still do everything that you can do to make sure that there's nothing you can say, nothing other people can say that is in your control that you didn't do to not get what you want. You know, so if I want a job, I can't like only apply and not go to the interview and expect to get it. You know, I have to apply, go to the interview, show up in my best clothes, show up looking, you know, nicely dressed, present my best self, do the second interview, do this, do that. You know, you can't just go halfway or do one thing and expect the result. It's not going to come for you if you're not doing the work. You know, and there's no better feeling, in my opinion, than doing everything that you can do in your control. Also, I'm a control freak, so there's honestly no better feeling, for me at least, than doing what you need to do. But I also understand on the flip side, there's that feeling of doing everything in your power, what you need to do, showing up as your best self every time and still not getting what you wanted. You know, with that, remember that what is for you is never going to miss you, and it will come to you when it's supposed to. The things that you fail at were not meant for you at the time, but it was meant to help with the growth. Another thing that I do is like I said, I practice self-reflection. This could be like journaling, you know, you can do that, or you can just talk to yourself, you can talk to God, you can talk to your universe, whatever you want to do. Just practicing self-reflection is a very important part of having a growth mindset. Because you ask yourself questions like, how could I have improved on that? What could I have done differently? You know, did I actually do, like I said, did I actually do everything that I needed to do? My camera fell. You know, was everything out of my control? Were there things that I still, which goes along with the last question, were there things that were in my control that I could still change? The next thing I do is I surround myself with growth orientated people, people who will give you the reality check, help you improve on things, give you feedback when you need it, and honest feedback, help you where you need to be and always support you. Those types of people. The next thing I do is I'm always embracing the fact that I'm never the master and I'm always the student. You will always be learning about something, including yourself. You're always going to be learning about yourself because you're always changing and the world is always changing. Nothing ever really stays the same. If you just right now, maybe that's the first thing you say to yourself is, I'm the student, never the master. And that is okay. Even when you think there's nothing left to learn, I bet you there's something left to learn. And the last thing I do is I celebrate my progress. I'm always celebrating things like stepping out of my comfort zone, you know, like turning in an assignment. Celebrating things doesn't always necessarily mean, you know, having a party and, you know, buying something. It can. You can buy yourself a little sweet treat. I do that all the time. Buy myself a little sweet treat every time I do something good for myself, you know, feel accomplished. Go to a little party, you know, I finished my assignment and now it's time to party, you know, that's my reward. You know, it can be stuff like that, obviously. But it can also be just like sharing what you did with your friends and family. Like I said, you can treat yourself to like dinner, go to the spa, get your nails done, get your eyebrows plucked, you know, things like that. Fun little things that make you feel good about yourself. Document the experience, you know, journal about it, vlog about it. I just love to vlog. I love to share like things that I've done with the camera or scrapbook. Sometimes I love to scrapbook. Sometimes I'm just like, ugh, I don't have time for this. I can't sit down and like do it. But scrapbooking, another way to document your success. And it's really important that throughout this whole process of the growth mindset, it's really important that you're always remaining patient with yourself and learning to forgive yourself. And that, I think, has been the hardest part for me, is remaining patient with myself, but also like the world around me, as well as being forgiving with myself specifically. I don't really give myself grace. That, I think, is one of the most important things, is being patient with yourself and forgiving yourself for the mistakes that you made, you know, or the mistakes that weren't in your control, but you feel like should have been. You know what I mean? I blame myself a lot for things that are not in my control. And like I said earlier, along with defining like what failure is for you, you also have to define success for you. Like, success can come in so many different ways. You know, it can be so small as like, I cleaned out my car today, or I cleaned my room, or it can be as big as I got my dream job. A success is a success. Ways to help, I think, define success is self reflection. Obviously, I've been talking about self reflection. You know, defining your core values as a person. You know, what are your personal goals in life as well? What are my goals, and what are little goals that I can have within the big goals? You know, like I said, forgetting about the outcomes and focusing on the journey. You know, having gratitude, like being grateful for every small thing, every big thing, every opportunity you get, every opportunity you don't get, all these things. You know, remaining grateful for yourself, for other people, for your opinions, for your other people's honesty, for your honesty to yourself. Remaining grateful for everything, seeking life balance, you know, making sure you have a good balance of fun, work, and then, like I said earlier, surrounding yourself with support. Of all this, there's two things that are really important to remember. Your failures do not define you. Your failures have nothing negative to do with who you are, and everything positive to do with who you're going to be. And the second thing is, practice makes progress, and not perfect. I used to have a orchestra slash band teacher who would say practice makes better, not perfect, but for the sake of, you know, it making sense, I changed it to that. It's really true, is practicing all of this is going to help you make progress. Essentially, failure is progress, because think of it, when you practice something, you fail at it. Thank you guys for watching this video. I love just talking, obviously, but this is something that I'm really passionate about, because I've been learning and doing a lot of this recently and trying to change into this growth mindset. Truly, it honestly has made my life feel, look, and just the experience of it all, just it's just so much better. So grateful for everything that I've done in the past that has got me to where I am, and I'm grateful for everything that I'm doing now that's going to get me to where I want to be. You know what I mean? So this is like something that I love talking about, and I think everyone should hear. Everyone should move into this growth mindset. So I appreciate you guys for staying until the end. If you stayed until the end, I love you all. I'm trying to get back on my YouTube grind and not literally post 2 videos and then take a whole year off like I've been doing. I'll see you guys in another video. Thank you for watching.